everyone, Miss Meek here, and today we're going to talk about multiplying integers. Multiplying integers. We will also talk about modeling how to multiply integers, so some different strategies you can use to help you find the correct answer. Multiplying integers means that we're multiplying negative and positive whole numbers, so negative times negative, negative times positive, all of those different combinations. Let's first start off by talking about how to do this with models. So what this means here is I have 2 times negative 3. This 2 is how many groups I have. This is how many groups I have. I have 2 groups, and this is what's in my group. What's in the groups? So I have 2 groups of negative 3. So I have one group of negative 3. So there is one group right here. And I have a second group of negative 3. So there is my second group right here. And a grand total then of negative 6 all together. So 2 times negative 3 equals negative 6. So that's one way that you can practice multiplying integers, is thinking about it in terms of groups and how many are in each group, and multiplying that, kind of like repeated addition. Okay, another way we can talk about this is with a number line. So again, this is the number of groups that I have. So this is the number of groups, and this is how big my group is. How big or how many are in the group. So on my number line, I have 2 groups of negative 5s. Now we know negatives always travel to the left unless we're subtracting, and then there's some opposite movement going on there, okay? But we're not subtracting here. This is multiplying. And so I am going to start here at 0, and I am going to travel one group of negative 5. So there is one group. And then to a second group of negative 5. And where I end up, I look down, and that is my answer. So 2 times negative 5 is going to equal a negative 10. That is 2 groups of negative 5. Now, maybe you don't want to draw number lines. Maybe you don't want to draw circles or shapes or whatever. So let's talk about maybe some rules that you can use to apply to your math. If you have a positive times a positive or a negative times a negative, meaning that your numbers have the same signs. So for example, 3 times 8. 3 times 8 is going to equal a positive 24. If I have a negative 3 times a negative 8, that is also going to equal a positive 24. If you have the same signs, it equals a positive number. It equals a positive number. Now, what happens if you have different signs? So if I have a positive times a negative, so for example, if I have a positive 2 times a negative 6, my answer is going to be a negative 12, okay? My answer is going to be a negative 12. Now, if I have a negative 2 times a positive 6, again, my answer is going to be a negative 12. So if my signs are different, it is going to be a negative number. So all you have to do is check out your signs, multiply the numbers like normal, and then use the appropriate sign based on what your numbers are. So let's go ahead and practice these rules. So on number 1, I have a negative times a positive. That is different signs. That means that my answer is going to be a negative. Now, what is 3 times 5? It is 15. So my answer is going to be a negative 15. Check out number 2. I have a positive times a positive. The same signs. That means that my answer here That means that my answer here is going to be a positive 42. A positive 42, okay? Check out number 3. I have a negative times another negative. Same signs. That means that my answer is going to be a positive, and it's going to be a positive 4 times 7, which is a 28. That is going to be my final answer there. And then lastly, on this last one, I have a positive 2 and I have a negative 10. Different signs. Well, what is 2 times 10? It's 20. And so my answer, because I have different signs, is going to be a negative 20. Okay, now notice, guys, on this page also, you may see multiplication written in ways that you've never really seen before. Okay, if you check out number 1 and number 2, we have our multiplication dot. That's something that we're going to see a lot in 6th grade. But then check out 3 and also 4. We have parentheses, and there's no multiplication symbols at all. When two numbers are touching together in parentheses, and there's no operation symbol in between, that also means multiplication. So that's something that as we get further into our algebra thinking, our algebraic type thinking, we have to get used to seeing numbers next to parentheses and know that that represents multiplication. Okay, guys, I hope this cleared up some of your confusion and maybe went over something that you've never known before, that you learned something new in this video, and I will talk to you later. Bye!